Hey guys, so welcome to my natural makeup session. I was going to do the Fesh one first because everybody requested that one more by a landslide. However, I realized I am out of fake lashes, and I feel like for me that makes a big difference in the Fesh look, and some people struggle with putting those on, including myself some days. So I'm gonna wait until I get some of those when the snow clears up. So this is gonna be kind of a natural everyday look. I do use natural makeup if I go out. I don't always wear eye makeup, especially if I'm going to dance class, just because I sweat a lot in this area and there's yeah. So it doesn't look pretty by the end of the class, so I just don't do it anymore. So anyway, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna start by prepping my face with MAC Prep and Prime here. I don't know if you can see it. This is a sample that I got for free from Ipsy.com. And yeah, it's really nice. So I'm just gonna spray my whole face with that and then wait for it to dry. And while it dries, I usually take out all the rest of my stuff, and then the next thing I do, I think I missed my chin. So anyway, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Benefit Pore Professional Face Primer, and face primer is pretty universal across the board. I just find that this one is not drying. I usually get really dry skin around my face, and this is not as dry. So I like this one right now. That could change in the future. So I'm just gonna dollop that on my face. Okay, pretty easy step. And then we're going to move on. So like I said, I don't normally do eye makeup, but I'm gonna do kind of a natural-ish look today, just to give you an idea of what I would do if on a day if I was going out with natural makeup and not going to dance. So I'm gonna prime my eyes, and I think primer for your eyes is pretty important because it makes sure that the product stays on where you put it, and it prevents fallout of eyeshadow. And I absolutely hate fallout in my eyeshadow, especially if it's something that's not a matte eyeshadow and it's sparkly, and then I end up with sparklies all over my lashes and everything, and I don't like it. So that's why we have primer. So I'm gonna take hold on. So just grabbing my brushes for eye makeup. So I'm gonna use these brushes. And this is a Morphe palette. I'm gonna show you what it is before I use it. And I'm really liking this eyeshadow palette right now. It was fairly inexpensive for what you get. And there's 24, wait, sorry, I can't count. There are 35 shades. Sorry, that took me a lot longer than it should have. And they're all kind of in the natural-ish family. And there's a pretty good mix of sparkly as well as matte. So what we're gonna do first is I am going to get the proper brush, first of all. And I'm gonna take this kind of, it's not very clean, but that's okay. It's like kind of a soft bristled brush. You don't want something hard for the first time you go in. So I'm gonna dip into this color right here. Hold on. So you can see I'm gonna move this color right here in the bottom left corner. And I'm just gonna put that like all over my lid. And then, let's go here. Hold on, sorry. Ooh. So we're just gonna put this all over my lid. And this will serve as kind of the base for the other few colors I'll do. I'm not gonna do very many colors just because this is supposed to be a natural look. And if you're wondering why I am doing, I'm just gonna bring this a little bit closer so you guys can see. So there's not really a huge difference right now. So I'm gonna go like that and like that. Not a huge difference with that color. However, it makes everything kind of neutral for everything else that I'm going to put on. And then second, I'm going to dip into the color right next to it, which is kind of a brownish chocolate color. And what I'm gonna do is put that in my crease. And your crease is just where your eyelid basically meets your brow bone. You could definitely feel it there. And you're just gonna put that all in your crease. And so my rule of thumb for any natural look is you want kind of a shade that pretty much matches your skin tone to go on your lid first. And that makes it so the other colors show up, and then go a few shades darker for your crease shade, because you don't want it too dark because you want it to stay kind of on the natural side, but you still want it to show up and give it some dimension to your eye. So hold on, gotta use this light. So I'm just blending this into my crease, and you can kind of see it start to show up. I'm going to do the same to the other side. And feel free to ask questions. I've never done anything like this before. I've only done makeup, I haven't done tutorials. Sorry, I have like the worst eyesight ever, so I have to like really see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is just making sure there's a good layer of that darker color in my crease so that it's showing up. Now I'm just going to bring it slightly outward. To where it kind of follows my brow bone, just down in line with my lash line. And don't worry if you go a little bit beyond your lash line, we will fix that later. So, I spend a lot of time on this step just to make sure that it's all where it needs to be. All right, so that's that step. Next step is we're gonna take our darkest color and kind of put it right at the beginning of your crease to provide the most definition. That's the last color we'll use to get the definition. I'll probably put something a little bit sparkly on my lids just to liven it up a little more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this color, bottom, 5th over from the left. Here. 5th over, that one. Right there. So we're going to take that one. And I'm not going to use very much of this. But what I'm going to do is just go right on the outside here and put it basically on the outer part of my lid and into the crease and just blend it in there. All right. Take a little more. Just to add a little more definition. But again, keeping it fairly natural, just so that this is a look you could do anytime for many different kinds of outings. Still just blending it in. Most of your time doing eyeshadow is going to be spent blending, just to make sure that it all looks good together and that your eyes match. Match as close as they can anyway. So we have that. And then what I'm gonna do is a little trick I learned. So what you're gonna do is I take this Ulta brand concealer and take a little tiny bit. This is if I'm gonna do some kind of shimmer shade on my lid. If you're not gonna do shimmer, then just stop at the third step I just did. If you wanna do shimmer, take any kind of concealer. I like this Ulta brand concealer. And I just put a dot on each lid. And then I smooth it out. And this kind of creates a base for your glitter shade. Now the reason I do this step before I do a glitter shade is that when you do a glitter shade, oftentimes there's a lot of fallout just because of what it's made of. And it doesn't show up as well as it should. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip into, oh, it's a hard choice. I'm gonna dip into kind of this goldish, actually no, I changed my mind. I'm gonna dip into this one. Fourth one over from the left from the top. And what I'm gonna do is just put it on where I had that concealer. And then it has kind of a nice lit effect to it. Hold on. I know this really, I didn't realize how light this was. However, this kind of just, sorry, it kind of brightens up the look, and with the concealer it helps a lot. So that's the eyeshadow part of this tutorial. It's pretty basic and it's not super difficult to do. Actually, I lied, there is one more step. So this first shade right here, it's pretty much white with a little bit of shimmer. You're gonna take this and put it on your brow bone, this little space right here, and that's gonna basically highlight your brow bone and kind of make a cleaner line with the shadow. And now that concludes the eyeshadow part. So now what we're gonna do is take a liquid liner. So this is actually by Tarte, but it's the Too Faced Sketch Marker, and it's good. It's no better than like Maybelline or anything. I actually kind of prefer the Maybelline because it doesn't kind of go crazy. It actually makes a clean line. Unlike this one takes a little bit more effort. So what I do with a natural look is I start fairly close to my tear duct and then I go over. This is kind of a game of luck every time for me. I'm not perfect at eyeliner. I'm okay. So we'll just see what happens. So I don't know if you saw that completely, but I made a line. And the key to eyeliner is confidence. Don't like go too slow to where it's like making a scribble of a line. Just kind of glide. You can always go under or over to fix it later. But what I've learned is if you go and kind of go really slow, your hand shakes and it makes a really uneven line. And I hate that on myself. So just words of wisdom. So we'll do the same with this side. And actually that's probably the best attempt I've ever done. So I'm glad you guys were here for this. That probably will not be happening again. Anyway, so that's kind of the part I was most nervous for. Glad it went okay. So next thing I do brows. Now, I don't normally do my brows, but your girl was trying to, you can even see it, was trying to get rid of the hair in the middle here. And I went a little wild. So what I did was I actually chopped way more of that one off than I intended. Future reference for myself, always go slow. Do not just assume it will be fine because now I have to spend the next month growing that back out. So I'm gonna take this brow gel, thank God for brow gel, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of fill it in with the little hairs that I have left. And by the way, this is the Benefit Gimme Brow Gel, and it's a brow volumizer, so it actually makes it, you can even see the difference. It kind of just makes it a little bit darker and a little bit more volumized. And this is color number 4. So 6 is black. I don't have black hair, but 4 is a nice dark brown, and I really like it. I like how it stays and I like how it shows up. So what you want is just to do nice even strokes. Try to stay in line with your brow shape as much as you can and just work off of that shape, and you'll get a better match on both sides if you do that. And then if you kind of mess up, you can always comb it out. So those are brows. And then while those are drying, I'm gonna take the Ulta brand concealer and cover up this little cute thing and my other little cute breakouts, and then go under my eye. There's a reason for this. So when you're like me and you're in college and you have a lot of work to do and you're an athlete with a lot of physical work to do, you end up not getting as much sleep as you'd like. So that's where concealer comes in, to hide all of that. And then I'm gonna take this beauty sponge and just kind of blend it into my skin and make sure that I get it where I need. And the other cool thing about concealer is that it kind of lightens up your face a little bit more, so it's a good foundation for your foundation. And it just makes everything a little bit more even. Okay, moving on. We have foundation, and I really, really love the MAC Studio Fix SPF line. It's been my favorite foundation so far. And this is because you don't have to use very much. And I literally used probably a drop. And it covers your whole face. It's very good coverage. So for people like me with cute little breakouts, I can cover those and it's a good time. So we're just gonna see, that's all you need to cover your whole entire, actually I'm gonna put some back because I don't even think I need that much. So what I do is I basically, maybe I did, hold on. Dollop it all over your face, and I like to use foundation brushes. It's up to you if you want to use your hands or a beauty sponge. That's totally up to you. I've used all of the above, and I like foundation brushes the best because I feel like the product spreads better. And so we're just gonna go all over here. And I go under my jawline just to prevent a nasty makeup line right here. I want the makeup line under my jaw so you don't see it. And then just have it. This part's pretty easy. You just want to go all around where there's exposed skin. And then we're dry here. And then while that dries, I'm going to take out my mascara. This is MAC mascara. I really like it. It's, the bristles are different from anything I've had. They're very skinny and the product doesn't get clumped to them. And if I knew the name, I would tell you what it is. But this is what the bottle looks like and I really like it. So we'll just put some of that on. Put some of that on. And then lower lashes. All right, so we have that. And then the last few steps of this tutorial are gonna be about contouring. So for me, contouring is my favorite step along with eye makeup because I have very high cheekbones and you can do some fun stuff with high cheekbones. So for a more natural look, I have this Morphe highlighter palette in collaboration with, hold on, what's his name? I can't even read that signature, but it looks like this. It's called Babe in Paradise, and it's in collaboration with an online makeup artist. And there's 6 shades, and I like this sparkly bronzer on the end here, so we're gonna use that. What I'm gonna do is my rule of thumb for contouring from my face is I do contour color here and here, and then ever so subtly on my hairline, and that's it. All right, my jawline, they usually say to do your jawline as well, but mine is pretty defined already and it doesn't need to be razor sharp. So I just stick with my cheekbones and my forehead because your girl has a giant forehead and we need to kind of rein that in a little bit. So ever so slightly on the forehead. You don't want it, for a natural look, you don't want too much. All right, and then I'll just bring this over. Hold on. So we have kind of that. And then we need a little more on this side. Sorry, my dog is barking a lot. And then that's for the contour color. And now my favorite part, highlight. So we're gonna take, where's my highlighting brush? Hold on, found it. Okay, so we're gonna go into, as you can see, I'm really a fan of this first color, but we're actually gonna go into this one. No, wait. We're gonna go into this one, the second one from the top, because it's a more neutral, it's not like in your face white highlighter. And what we're gonna do is, the rule of thumb for highlighting is Cupid's bow underneath your eyes, on the top of your cheekbone, so just directly above where you did the contour color, and your forehead and your nose. And that's it. So I'm gonna start over here. You can already see she's showing up. I like to glow. And you can even go up just slightly, so kind of make a rough triangle, I guess. And forehead. Cupid's bow. And a little bit on your chin if you like. And then, so when you have your contour and highlight all done, what I like to do is take just a big powder brush and kind of blend it all together so that the lines aren't as defined. You want it to kind of look more blended in. And I don't use blush on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people like to. I like blush, but I don't use it all the time. And for a natural look, I kind of like to stick to more of the browns and the kind of gold tones, and not too much pink. So when that's done, your face makeup is pretty much done. One step I like to do, just to kind of, actually we're not going to do that today, that's more of a fesh thing, so never mind. Last thing we're going to do is a lip color. Where did I put it? Hold on. So this is kind of a nude lipstick. I got this in a kit from MAC for Christmas, and it's honestly one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. So this is called Velvet Teddy, and it's just, if you open it, it's a pretty neutral, kind of in the brown, kind of a, I don't know, just kind of a brown, kind of subtle pink color, but not really. And just gonna hit that on. And that's the finished look. We're gonna take this spray one more time and just do that. I'm a big believer in setting spray, so this is used as a prep spray and a setting spray. I'm a huge believer in it. It keeps your makeup where it needs to be, and it prevents drippage. Okay, so this is the finished look. This is a classic Leanne neutral kind of look if I'm just going out or whatever. Actually, I need to clean some of that up. So see, I am nowhere near a professional makeup artist. I've done my own makeup since I was about 12 years old. And the reason being is I'm a dancer and we have to learn how to do our makeup. So it kind of ignited a passion for me and I've been playing with makeup ever since. So I'm in no way an expert, but I am glad to help where I can. And hopefully I'll be doing a fesh look pretty soon. I have some feshes coming up, so maybe then I'll be able to do that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so feel free to ask me any questions about products, about techniques, whatever comes to mind. I am happy to help. So thank you for watching this insanely long video and watching me do my first attempt at a makeup tutorial. Thanks.